you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Holographist coach, Christine McIver.
Welcome, my friends. Good evening, good morning, afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. Wherever you are, I'm grateful that you came to play with us here tonight. I am your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices show, Inspired Choices Network, and I am thrilled to have you here, and we're going to be talking about so many things that'll probably even surprise you that we're talking about. So tonight's show is all about I want to thank you. And yes, we're going to be talking about business. We're going to be talking about you. We're going to be talking about creating and expanding in the world. And whether you're in business or you're not, I know that this show, what's been coming through, is absolutely going to be a game changer for a number of you, because this is something that I've personally experienced over the years. And it's so much fun. I'm excited to bring this show to you, and I'm excited to see what this show contributes to you. Now, I just want to refer back to a couple of shows that we've done recently. Last week, it was, Are You Struggling in Business? And, one of the big things that came out of it is there's no shame in struggling in business. There's actually a lot of really great things about that. And there's also a lot of things that you can change for yourself and for your business. The week before that, we talked about, are you really committed to your business? And before that, we had a fabulous guest, Jen Wood, and we talked about what soul got to do with business. We've got a lot of options for you to listen to, and even if you're watching on TV, to check out. Now, I'm really super excited to share with you that we here at the Inspired Choices Network now have our very own mobile app. Now, if you're watching me on TV, you're going to see me showing you. We have our own mobile app where you can listen live. And as you listen live, you can come over and you can check out all about the network. You can check out all of the different shows. And really cool, you can scroll all the bottom. And right at the very bottom, this very last image, you can click on that and you can join the chat room. As you're listening live, you can be in the chat room right from your app, right from your phone or your iPad or your tablet, wherever you're listening. It's so easy. And here's a really awesome thing that we're doing. And people on this network, all of the hosts, we're coming together, the team, we're coming together, and we have a huge contest going on. Huge. We have we're not done yet. We have over $5,000 in contest prizes that you can win. And all you have to do is download the app, send us an image that you downloaded it. That gives you one ticket. Review it, gives you another ticket, and send that image of that in. Take a picture of you in the app somewhere fun and send that in. You can also post it somewhere on one of your social media platforms and tag us in that too. So you can actually get up to 5 entries into these gifts. And there's many gifts, and the total is over 5,000 already. It's going to be even more soon. So definitely go download the app and enter this contest, because I'm telling you, right now, everybody that's entered is going to win something, and they might even win 2 or 3 things. So it's up to you. Do you want to win? Do you want to get in on the fabulous prizes that you're going to be receiving? It's pretty outstanding, I'm telling you. So let's get into tonight's show. I want to thank me. Imagine thanking yourself and really meaning it. The world is full of issues, challenges, kind acts, heroic acts, and even miracles. All that is very, very true. My question is, how many of these things are you actually thanking yourself for? Have you ever really considered doing that? And if you have considered it, have you ever done it? So truth, how many people have actually thanked themselves? Thanked themselves. Why is this important? Why is this important in business? Well, I'm telling you, this is actually, oh, hang on a second, I've got a little dry spot. Sorry about that. This is actually such a huge key in success, whatever you're doing. Success in parenting, success in going to school, success in relationships, success in business, success in your career. It is a huge key that we absolutely do not really know about or actually even implement, even if we kind of know. All right. So let me tell you where this kind of came from. So last weekend when we did the huge launch, we were having so much fun and we popped some champagne and I was absolutely in my glory because having an app for the network, we have wanted this for years and years. And I mean, it's a big deal. And I was having so much fun and I was posting it and we did a video and then I did a video by myself and just celebrating it and inviting people to it and so on. And I was playing around on one of my favorite platforms, which is TikTok. And when I went in there, I came across this video of Snoop Dogg. Everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is, right? And he was in the middle of a crowd. And all you heard him say was, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for showing up. I want to thank me for doing the work. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. So I actually duetted it. And what that means is if you're on TikTok, you can go find me and just look for my name. But duet means that the video that he originally did is beside me. So he's playing, his video's playing, and I'm creating a video at the same time. And so I duetted it and I was having so much fun. And I was really thinking about that. You know, it was just a spur of the moment, let's have a lot of fun. And I was really started to think about that deeply, about how important that truly, truly is. Now, Snoop Dogg was recorded after getting a big award, and he was at some outdoor events and being given this award. And then later, he was actually interviewed on Ellen, and they were joking around back and forth. And when they started to talk about the speech and what he said he hadn't planned it. And, you know, I was thinking about that and I thought, how cool is that? How cool is that, that he hadn't planned that? And yet that was what naturally came out of his mouth. Now, there's this old saying that I used to say to a lot of clients or people that were struggling with anger and sadness and resentment. And it was something that Wayne Dyer, I heard Wayne Dyer, you know, who's passed away a number of years ago, I heard him say this and I thought, this is so cool. So Wayne Dyer used to say, if you have an orange and you squeeze the orange, what comes out of the orange? And people will say juice, right? That's what most people will say. And so, you know, you say, so like, lemon juice isn't going to come out of it. Water's not going to come out of it. Milk's not going to come out of it. No, orange juice is going to come out of it. And then the follow-up question is, well, if they squeeze you, what's going to come out of you? Is anger going to come out of you? Is resentment? Is fear? Is sadness? Joy? Pride? Possibilities? Encouragement? What's going to come out of you? So today, wherever you are, it doesn't matter where you are. If we were to squeeze you, what would come out of you? What would it be there? And then I thought about Snoop Dogg again and about what came out of him. So it was the thing that was right at the edge that came out of him. And that's really cool because that's part of who he is. He sees his value. He sees his value and he acknowledges his value. And that is a real huge thing. Most of us are raised, and well, I'm going in a lot of directions, but I promise this is all going to come together. Most of us are raised with our parents saying, you know, do better, or I'm so proud of you, right? Neither of them sound bad, right? But what they do is when we say that as parents to our children, we're projecting onto them, right? We're projecting do better. So we're judging them because we're saying they didn't do good enough. And when we say, I'm proud of you, they then look to us for acknowledgement. And that's something I learned many, many years ago. I actually stopped saying that to my children. I stopped saying, I'm proud of you. Now, when they did something that obviously they were striving for or brought them joy, I would say to them, oh my gosh, I love seeing you so happy. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I know how hard you worked for this. Or, wow, you look so happy. Tell me how are you feeling about this? So I would have them be within themselves and within their experience. I wouldn't make it about me and what I thought of them, right? Because I wanted them to start to feel their own pride, their own love for themselves. This is kind of like when we say, well, you can't love somebody else until you love yourself. And how many people give that whole thing lip service, right? Oh, yeah. I love myself. Do you? Do you really yourself? Do you honor yourself? Do you listen to your needs? Do you follow the truth of what you desire instead of trying to just get along or make it happen? Are you really listening to you? And are you really honoring you? And most of us, that's something that we need to continually practice. I know that I still do. I know that I still have to go, hold on. Is this really what we want? Is this really the direction that we want to be going in? And step back and really look at it and check in with myself, right? Well, this is very much along that same line of I want to thank me. When you are true in yourself and you can say, I want to thank me, I want to thank me. You are honoring yourself. You're acknowledging yourself. You are proud of yourself. When you're in that space, your experience of yourself begins to change. When we are not seeking outside of ourselves, we're not trying to meet someone's judgments or expectations. And we all say this, we say these words about judgments and expectations so flippantly, like it doesn't matter. These things are huge, you guys. They are really, really huge. They're so normal. There's so much a normal part of who we are and the experience of who we are and the way that we behave in the world, the way that we raise our children, the way that we act in relationships, the way that we act in our jobs, in our businesses. We don't think anything of it. We just keep going along, and we're actually looking outside of ourselves to meet other people's expectations and judgments. We're not spending the time getting clear and getting grounded with who we are and really finding that space within us of what really matters to us and what we're going to do to really honor that and continually do that. If you are acknowledging someone for something amazing that they did, like you're like, fantastic, and you're clapping your hands and you're giving them a rah, that really fills them up. But it's not anybody else's job to fill you up. It's not their job. It's your job. Are you actually filling you up with joy and celebration? Are you acknowledging the brilliance that you are? Are you willing to see the brilliance that you are? Not from a prideful place, from a truth place. Are you really willing to acknowledge, I am great at this? And when you start to say that, when you start to say, I'm great at this, or I'm great at that, or, oh my gosh, I did a brilliant job, most of us, we're going to trip over that. We're going to have a very difficult time actually saying that, because that is not something that the world has actually encouraged or celebrated. We were told, many of us were told that that's very boastful. Being boastful is wrong. It's prideful. And I can't remember the scripture from the Bible, but I know that that was often referred to as being like devil's work when you're being prideful. And bullshit. I don't believe that one iota. And we're going to go for break, but when we come back, I'm going to talk about what that actually does to your physical self, your emotional self, and then physical reality when you buy into that bullshit and you do not, thank you, when you do not put you first. This is very, very, very important. And it's something that, you know what, its time has come. And who knows where we're going to go with this topic. But I'm telling you, this just keeps getting bigger and bigger in my world. And I really hope that this is contributing to you and that you're leaning in. Because you know what, my friends, together, when we really start to honor ourselves and listen to ourselves, we are changing not only our world, our family's world, but the world around us. And my friends, I think you'll all agree, we are at that juncture of where it's time to change the world. I am so over people fighting and people being angry about it's my right and this is my opinion and blah, 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 blah. Stop. Just stop. Look at what you're contributing. What seed are you sowing? What seeds are you sowing? Are you going to grow weeds or are you going to grow abundance? And when you're operating from all of those push angry places, I promise you, you're going to get weeds and you're not going to be helping to contribute to the abundance in our world. Yes, Jen says it's actually quite exhausting. It is exhausting. And I really wonder about the adults that are operating from that space in the world today. If they have young children looking around them and listening to what they're doing and what they're saying, what are we growing with our children with these behaviors? Okay, my friends, I obviously can go on a rant about this, and I don't want to go on a rant. I want this to be an enjoyable evening tonight with me and with this very, very robust subject. So thank you everyone that's listening. Thank you everyone that's actually texting me and telling me that you're listening on the app. That's so cool. You're just making my heart swell. It's so awesome. Thank you so much everybody for being here, and stick around because after the break, we're going to go even deeper. You are listening to Inspired Choices here on the Inspired Choices Network. I'm your host, Christine McIver, and I hope that you're listening on the app. Stay tuned, my friends.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, Join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hey, my friends. Oh my gosh. This topic is touching some nerves. I actually have someone in the chat room that said I hit a nerve and that their heart is sad and they're asking, where is the love? Well, guess what? I know that. And yesterday I had a shitty day. I had a shitty day because I was looking at stuff online and I was reading some of the crazies that's going on out there. And I'm not going to say where I feel or where my choices are, because that's not what's important tonight. What's important tonight is to tell you what you can do to change all of this for you, no matter what your thoughts or beliefs are. All right. And it does suck. And yeah, that's cool. It does suck. And it also is a really, like I said before, it's very, very important that we all step up. Now, you know, we're getting a lot of pressure in the world. There is a lot of intensity going on. And I do believe that we are being called forth to step up. And how you step up, the place from which you step up, the place from which you allow your voice to come, makes a very big difference. I was watching a show earlier and it's just a little thing, and they were talking about the show was back in the 60s, and there was someone that said they were talking about people uprising and people destroying things. And there was two people in this community that disagreed, and one said, well, they're doing this to try to change the oppression. And the other person said, well, maybe not, don't do it in your own backyard, right? So how much are we actually bringing our anger to our own backyard, into our own families, into ourselves? You know, here's the thing, my friends, you are responsible for your energy. You are responsible for the way that you feel. You're responsible for your emotions. You are responsible for creating joy and love in your life. Nobody else is responsible for that. Nobody. And this is a very big key, because if you keep on, and we were talking about this in the first segment, if you keep on putting your expectations out there, trying to fulfill something for somebody else and hoping they're going to fulfill it back for you, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And you're also wasting a hell of a lot of time, because when you get clear about your responsibility to you and you start to really check yourself again and again and again, you can have joy and pleasure and happiness very quickly. You don't have to wait for it to be delivered by somebody else. And when you are acknowledging yourself and you're really, really looking at what you have created, what you have chosen, right? When you are acknowledging the brilliance that you are, and you all are. Every single person in a human body is a miracle. The odds of you actually being born, I don't have those numbers anymore. I used to have them at my fingertips, but the odds of you actually being born is so minute that you absolutely are a miracle. The fact that you breathe, you are a miracle. You are a miracle, my friends. And the choices that you make every single day can also be a miracle for you. Now let's talk about what happens in your physical body when you are choosing to take responsibility for your emotions and choosing to acknowledge yourself and thank yourself for what you're doing. Okay? Everything is energy. And a lot of you that are listening, this is not going to be anything new. Okay, you've probably heard this a number of times, but this is key for you to be reminded of it. Every single solitary thing is energy. And while I'm not a scientist and I'm not up on all of this, and I certainly learn about it, and I'm listening and learning more and more every day, I'm going to give you kind of a picture of what's going on. Okay, every single cell in your body has a headset on. Okay, it has a headset on to you, and every emotion that you have, whenever you are expressing joy, whenever you are expressing gratitude and thanks and pleasure and happiness and peace and ease, your cells have that headset on and they're like, oh, okay, this is where we're going. And what they do is they mirror, your body cells start to mirror that emotion. Okay. There was Dr. Emoto did years and years and years ago, he did this experiment with water. And when he put labels on glasses or on containers that had water in it, and he would say joy or anger and vice versa. Go look it up on YouTube. It's absolutely fascinating. And he would look at the cells, look at the water droplets under microscopic, in very intense microscopic equipment, and he would see the formations of the cells would change based on joy and happy and based on anger and sad, right? The anger and sad would be disformed, and they would not be, they would look, I don't know, they would just look out of whack. And the happy and joy, they would have just these beautiful, beautiful symmetry of designs to them. And it was amazing, absolutely amazing. Even to think that somebody would think to do that is amazing, right? So thank you, Dr. Emoto. Very, very well done. But your cells, every single one of your cells, as you are in joy and pleasure, they've got their headset on and they're listening, and they are responding just like those water droplets respond to the words. Okay. And every time you're in anger, every time you're in sadness, every time you're in frustration, they've got their headset on and they're also responding. All right. If you suffer with a lot of aches and pains in your body, those aches and pains, illnesses, they are in response to experiences that you have been having over and over and over again repeatedly. All right. Everything is in response to you. Everything that's going on in your physical body is responding to you. Now, every emotion that you are having, every single emotion that you are having, every single solitary moments of joy and pleasure and happiness and love and kindness and anger and sadness and revenge, all of that is in response to the thoughts that you're choosing to have and continually put on repeat and repeat and repeat. And I'm really calling everybody out on this. You're responsible. You are responsible. And to be responsible is to respond to something. You are responding. You can have a thought of sadness, and then you have a choice. You have a choice of how you're going to respond to this, how you are going to allow that thought to permeate the cells of your body and therefore permeate into your physical reality. It happens very, very quickly. And it's not to say that if you are having a difficult time, if you've been in sadness, if you've been in anger, that you can't turn that around. You can. And you can heal your body of everything. You absolutely 100% can. And if you haven't been doing any of that until now, start now. Just say to yourself, I'm going to take responsibility for my joy. I'm going to take responsibility for my happiness. I'm going to take responsibility for my success. We're going to go for a second break. Oh my gosh, this is going so fast. And I really want to talk about success. So if I forget to talk about that when we come back, my producer, Jen, if you could please remind me of that. But this is a big piece that I'm talking to right here, right now. And I really want you to lean into understanding this. You are responding. Your reality is a response of the thoughts that you've been choosing to have and keep having again and again and again. Ask yourself, what do I really desire? What experience of me do I desire to have? What experience of me do I desire to have? And as you cultivate that, and as you nurture that, and you keep asking that question, and you allow whatever wants to come forth, and to really pull on you, you're going to start to create the reality that you deeply, deeply desire. This is a really important piece. And before we go to break, we're going to go to break 1 second. There was, I get this daily quote every day from Abraham, which is Abraham Esther Hicks. If you don't know all about Abraham and Esther Hicks, go check it out. But this was the really cool thing. You cannot stop contrast. Therefore, you cannot skip inspiration of new, of better, of improved, of more, of expansion, or of evolution. You cannot stop it. Oh my gosh, that speaks to me so much. And I've heard that so many times about our desires will continue to come. And the contrast that she's speaking of, if you have a terrible experience, you're instantaneously having the exact same contrast of that. So when you have a terrible experience, there's a desire, a want inside of you for the exact opposite of that, for joy, right? Now, where are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to continue down that path, or are you going to choose to allow yourself to go in the direction of your desires? Allow the contrast to feed deeper and deeper into your joys, your happy, your pleasure, your deep, deep desires. Allow that to continue to come and make the conscious choices as to what you're going to allow to feed in your mind, what you're going to allow to come out of your mouth, and therefore what you're going to nurture and what you're going to actually see come to fruition in your life. This is your choice. How you respond to each and every choice or each and every piece of your reality right here, right now, is going to change your tomorrows. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank me, because together we're creating something very different right here, right now. Stay tuned, my friends. We'll be back right after this break. You are listening to Inspired Choices with myself, your host, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices Network. And remember, download the damn app.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The pleasure of business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Okay, my friends, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's so awesome to have more and more pleasure and creating more of what's really, really possible. It's so much fun to do these shows. And I want to thank me. I want to thank me for sticking to it, for continuing to dive deep into what I know and to constantly be asking more and more questions. I have been doing radio now since 2011. That's 10 years. I never would have imagined. I remember my very first show. I freaked myself out and I cried for the first 15 minutes of my show. And here I am, 10 years later, continually choosing again and again and again. So I want to thank me for never giving up. I want to thank me for leaning in. I want to thank me for putting in the long hours. I want to thank me for risking to have more joy. I want to thank me for having the gumption to keep choosing again and again and again. I want to thank me for continually looking at the places where I personally needed to evolve so that my business could evolve. I want to thank me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really encourage you to look at that for yourself. I really, really want you to look at where you can be actually thanking you and what that can actually look like. It's going to feel weird at first to start thanking you. But you know what? The difference that this is going to make in the world is going to be huge. This is not by any means from an arrogant space, okay? This is not at all from that. This is from a genuine space of you thanking yourself and acknowledging yourself, because if you don't and you're waiting for somebody else, you're number one, setting yourself up for disappointment, and number two, you're letting yourself down. That's right. You're letting yourself down for not thanking yourself, for not acknowledging the brilliance that you are. Do you know what starts to happen to the cells of your body when you start to thank yourself? They get happy and they get joyful. And that starts to change the physiology of your body. It starts to change the psychology of your mind. And it starts to absolutely spill over into your reality. Acknowledge that you got out of bed this morning. If you are struggling, where can you acknowledge? Can you acknowledge, well, I got out of bed this morning. I got up and I got dressed. When you're in a deep, dark place, that is some of the biggest things that you can do. When back in 2008, it was a very, very difficult time for me. And I was actually really at the edge of my life and was thinking about leaving my body. I was in such a dark, dark space. And I had a good friend, a boss, who would call me up, an ex-boss that would call me up and get a walk, go for a walk. And he'd say, go as far as you think you can go, and then go another 20 minutes, and then turn around and come home and do it again tomorrow. And that was a mountain to climb at that time. And when I did it, I would be like, okay, I did that. Now, I really wasn't a big space of thanking me for doing that, but I would start to acknowledge, okay, I did that. I was able to do that. And I was able to do it the next day, and so on. And that's what it takes. It's one choice at a time. It's one thought at a time. It's one experience at a time. Live right here, right now, and start to change what is not working for you. If you know that you're grouchy, and hey, I can be grouchy too. If you know that you're grouchy, if you know that you're coming from a place of complaining a lot, what is that doing to your body? Do you wake up in the morning in joy after you went to bed complaining at night? No, you slept with all of that. You've allowed that vibration into your body. What is that going to do for your world? What does this have to do with business? The vibration, you are a vibration. Your energy every day is the thing that shows up in your world before you physically do. Your energy, your vibration actually, contributes to how you speak, contributes to how you even type something, okay? Contributes to the messages you send to people, contributes to the things that you post. Right? Every single solitary piece of your vibration is contributing to everything. It's contributing to your relationships. It's contributing to your business. It's creating. Every single one of these things is creating. It's a beacon of attraction. Your vibration is a beacon of attraction. What is it attracting? Remember the orange? Remember the orange? If we squeeze the orange, we're going to get orange juice. If we squeeze you, are we going to get joy? What is the energy that is coming out of you? What is it creating? Is it a point of attraction, or is it a point of deflection that you are pushing people and opportunities away from you? And this is not about other people. This is 100% about you and the experience that you are having with you. Your life is about you. The experience you are having is about you with you. I'm telling you, this lockdown has been huge for me because it has really had me lean more and more into myself and really have an experience of being with myself and the thoughts that are coming. When we're talking to other people all the time, we're interacting and we're connecting with their thoughts. But when we're solo in this pandemic, and a lot of us, even if we're living with other people, we're spending more and more time solo with ourselves. That's giving us an opportunity to really look at what is it that we are thinking? What are the thoughts that are coming up? And what are those thoughts planting for tomorrow and the tomorrows after that? Are you willing to begin to thank you for one thing today, one thing, and allow that beautifulness within you to grow? Are you willing to thank you? Are you willing to thank you for showing up in your life? Are you willing to thank you for saying, you know what? I've really been struggling and I've been really angry, or I've really been judgmental, or I've really been creating a lot of crap in my life. And I want to thank myself right now just for acknowledging that, just for finally being open to seeing that that's what I've been doing. I don't need to think about anybody else. I don't need to put blame on anybody else. There's plenty to go around. My job is to do me. My job is to do me. Nobody else. My job isn't to do my kids. My job isn't to do my neighbors. My job isn't to do society. Yes, we all have a responsibility in our communities, and what we're doing is creating our communities, but it has to start with you. If you have got a quote unquote fight on your hands that you're trying to change the world with, how are you coming about it? I think of some of the great people in the world, the great leaders in the world, like Mahatma Gandhi, oh my gosh, names just fly out of my brain the minute I want to talk about them. Oh my gosh, the leader of Africa. Please, Jen, what was his name? Oh my gosh, that's so bad. But these people were these great leaders. They chose, like Mahatma Gandhi chose to change India, not from violence, right? Nelson Mandela just came to me. Nelson Mandela chose not to change things from violence, right? Martin Luther King chose to march without violence. We too can have a cause that's deep on our heart without hurting someone else. You don't have to hurt somebody else in order to make a change, and you don't have to hurt you either to make a change. What's required is love. Love is required in all of it. Any change that you desire to make comes from that space of being kind to you, loving you. If something is not working, it's in your hands to change it. No one is going to save the day. This is your life. You didn't show up here, with a contract with somebody else saying you're going to make me happy, right? You showed up here with you. You came in solo in your body. Your life is yours to make with it what you wish. But you've got to take responsibility, and you've got to be willing to get uncomfortable with thanking yourself. You've got to be willing to get uncomfortable with finding love for you. We're going to go to our last break of the show. And when we get back, we're going to lean in even deeper. Are you willing to have more? I would love to hear from you. I would love to see you guys downloading the app, entering the contest. Go over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/contest, and you're going to see all of the prizes that are there. We have, like I said, right now, we have over $5,000 worth of contest prizes. We have things like business strategy package. That's something that I'm gifting. We have, and the value of that is $1,750. We have a recorded class called Where is the Money Now? We have sexy coupons. We have Kick Your Confidence, 3-week self-study course with Jen Wood. We have soul healing session with Jen Wood. We have inner child meditation. We have so many things that are there, and that's just a handful. There's so many more things that you can go and check out. Did I say soul book? Sorry. There's so many gifts. Go check out that page. You're just going to be amazed. Enter the contest. We are starting to pull winners very, very soon, and you want to get in on that because the odds are in your favor right now. Who do you know that would love to have some of these amazing gifts, some contributions? Who loves to get some things for free, and who loves to listen to phenomenal hosts? We have fantastic hosts here on the network that are doing live shows. We have over 6,000 podcasts in our library to choose from. Like, oh my gosh, free content and free prizes for listening to the free content that you get to have the app for free on your phone. You can listen wherever. I mean, hello, I want to thank me for doing this. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go to our final break. You are listening to Christine McIver here on the Inspired Choices Radio TV podcast show and here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with holographist coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with holographist coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Oh my gosh, my friends, time is flying, isn't it? Holy crap. We have less than 4 minutes in the show. I honestly don't know where these time go, but this is what happens when you're actually creating something that brings you joy. Time is going to fly. When you're creating something that brings happiness and possibilities, your life is going to just expand and the time will just fly by. You don't have to be in misery. You don't have to be in sadness. You have the choice to change this. Now, I want to go back to we've covered a lot of topics tonight and gone in a lot of different directions, but I really want to go back to what the show was called. It's called I Want to Thank Me. Imagine thanking yourself and really meaning it. I'm going to put a challenge out there. Everybody that's listening, whether you're listening live or you're listening in the podcast, watching one of the TV episodes at a later time, I want to put a challenge out to you. For the next 3 days, whenever you hear this, I want you to thank yourself 5 times a day for the next 3 days. Will you do it? Will you step up to the challenge and begin to see what that experience is like when you begin to thank you, when you begin to acknowledge you, when you give that love to yourself? Imagine the change that's going to begin to happen. The vibration you start to put out in the world, you're going to start to improve your physical health, your resting, your energy levels, your experience with other people, your experience within your business or within your career. All of that is going to start to show up in a much more nurturing way because you thanked you. I want to put that challenge out, and I would love to have an email from you or send me a message on social media. I want to know what you've experienced, what has really come up for you. Where have the challenges been? Where have the wins been? It's a possibility of changing something very easily, okay? It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but it can be easily changed as you start to lean into this. So I want to thank you for stepping up to this challenge, even if you don't tell me about it. I want to thank you because with you choosing this, you're contributing to the world that I am desiring to create as well. And right now, I want to thank me for creating this phenomenal network that has really brought so many amazing speakers with their amazing awareness and gifts and capacities to the airwaves. I want to thank me for persisting in days that seem like I was alone in it. I want to thank me for dealing with the challenges in business and being determined to never, ever give up. And right now, especially in the middle of where we are with our creations, I want to thank me for being persistent to have this app come to the world. This is a desire that I have had for years and years and years, and I'm so grateful for it. Well, my friends, it's time for me to say goodbye. And remember, no matter what, you can always make another choice. Until next week, take good care. And remember,
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire. Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.